Hey there, curious minds. Welcome to a journey into one of the most modern and insidious anxieties out there. One you probably feel right now, without even realizing the grip it has on you. Have you ever been chilling at home, maybe reading a book or binging a show, and suddenly you pick up your phone? You see your friends' stories at a party, on a trip, laughing, and a pang hits you. A strange mix of anxiety and sadness washes over you. That feeling has a name, and it's much more than just fleeting envy. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. Today, we're going to deconstruct this phenomenon. FOMO is that persistent worry that other people are having more fulfilling or better experiences than you are. It's the nagging feeling that you're being left out, that your life just isn't as interesting in comparison. Now, you might think this fear isn't new, and you'd be right. The desire to belong and be part of the tribe is a survival instinct, hardwired into our DNA for thousands of years. Back in the day, being left out of the group meant real danger. Less protection, less food, less chance of survival. Our brain is programmed to avoid isolation at all costs. It's an ancient defense mechanism. But what happens when that ancient instinct collides with 21st century technology? The result? A perfect storm. Social media has taken that ancestral fear and amplified it to a level we've never experienced before. Your phone isn't just a device. It's a 24/7 open window into the seemingly perfect lives of hundreds, even thousands of people. A window that never closes and constantly bombards us with information. And here's the first trap. What we see through that window isn't reality. It's a carefully curated and edited version of reality. We see the successes, the smiles, the exotic destinations. No one posts their failures, their moments of boredom, or their loneliness. Our rational brain knows this, but our emotional brain, the part that responds to images and social comparison, can't tell the difference. To our limbic system, everyone else is living extraordinary lives except us. This leads us into a toxic cycle. We feel bad comparing our real lives with all their ups and downs to everyone else's highlight reels. This constant comparison generates chronic dissatisfaction with our own existence. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you decided to do something, not because you truly wanted to, but out of fear of regretting it if you didn't, or because you needed something to post to prove you also have an exciting life? Researchers from various universities have shown how constant exposure to social media is directly linked to higher levels of anxiety and depressive symptoms. FOMO is a key factor in this correlation. The problem worsens because FOMO keeps us in a state of perpetual alertness. It forces us to constantly check our phones, to be always available, always connected, for fear of missing an invitation, a news update, or a meme. This hypervigilance drains our mental resources. It robs us of the ability to concentrate on a single task, to truly immerse ourselves in the present moment, whether it's a face-to-face conversation, the taste of a meal, or the plot of a movie. So, the fear of missing out on what's out there makes us miss out on the most important thing of all. It makes us miss our own life, the one happening here and now, right in front of us. It's the great paradox of our time. FOMO fuels the idea that happiness is always somewhere else. At that party we didn't make it to, on that trip we didn't take, in that job we don't have, it turns us into eternal seekers, constantly unable to find satisfaction in what we do possess. What's more, it pressures us to say yes to everything, to pack our schedules to the point of exhaustion, not out of genuine desire, but to avoid the hollow feeling we get from seeing others make plans. The quantity of activities replaces the quality of experiences. Studies in consumer psychology show that FOMO is an incredibly powerful marketing tool. Limited time offers, flash sales, only 2 left in stock. It all plays on our fear of missing an opportunity. They push us to buy things we don't need, to sign up for courses we'll never finish, and to accumulate superficial experiences just so we can check in and share them. We become collectors of moments instead of fully living them. But how does this work on a brain level? Every notification, every like, every new post from someone we follow releases a small hit of dopamine, the pleasure and reward neurotransmitter. It's a digital drug. Platforms are designed to be addictive. Infinite scroll, push notifications, algorithms that show us exactly what will hook us the most. Everything is calculated to keep us hooked, to keep us coming back for our next dose. And when we try to disconnect, we often feel a kind of withdrawal, anxiety, and uncomfortable boredom. We prefer constant digital noise to the silence of our own thoughts, a silence that has become terrifying. FOMO doesn't just affect our mental health, it also impacts our real-life relationships. We're physically present with friends or family, but our minds are elsewhere, wandering the digital world, constantly checking what else is going on. This divided attention devalues our face-to-face interactions. It sends the person in front of us the message that they're not as important as whatever might be happening on our phone. It erodes intimacy and genuine connection. Even our most important life decisions can be affected. Choosing a career, a partner, or a place to live. The fear of choosing the wrong option and missing out on all other possibilities can lead us to analysis paralysis. The abundance of options, which should be a source of freedom, instead becomes a source of anguish. Every yes to one thing is a no to thousands of others, and FOMO makes us painfully focus on all those doors we close. This leads us to avoid commitment. We jump from job to job, from relationship to relationship, always with the feeling that something better might be just around the corner. Always searching, never truly finding. The impact on teenagers is especially worrying. Their social identity is still forming, making them extremely vulnerable to the comparison and need for external validation that social media exacerbates. For them, being disconnected isn't an option, it's the equivalent of social ostracism. The pressure to maintain a perfect online presence and to be constantly in the know is immense, with real consequences for their self-esteem. Now, we've painted a rather dark picture, but understanding the problem is the first step toward finding a solution. It's not about demonizing technology, but about learning to use it in a way that serves us and not the other way around. The fight against FOMO isn't won by seeking more experiences to share, but by cultivating a different mindset, one that values depth over breadth, quality over quantity. And this is where a transformative concept comes in. The answer to FOMO, its antidote, is JOMO, a term that stands for the joy of missing out. It's a radical and liberating shift in perspective. JOMO is the pleasure of disconnecting. It's the satisfaction of being exactly where you are, doing exactly what you're doing, without a care for what anyone else is up to. It's finding peace in your own choices and in your own present moment. It involves a conscious choice. The choice to turn off notifications. The choice to leave your phone in another room during dinner. The choice to dedicate time to activities that aren't Instagrammable, but truly nourish your soul. Think about it this way. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your own life. You're reclaiming your time and attention, your most valuable resources. You're choosing your peace of mind over the digital noise. Practicing JOMO can be as simple as enjoying a cup of tea in silence, free from distractions, or getting lost in a deep conversation with a friend without glancing at your phone even once. It's finding richness in the ordinary. One powerful technique is a digital detox, setting specific times to check social media instead of letting it interrupt you throughout the day. For example, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 in the evening. Another strategy is to change your approach to social media. Instead of passively consuming others' content, actively use them to connect. Send a direct message to a friend you haven't talked to in ages. Foster real connection. It's also crucial to practice gratitude. At the end of the day, instead of dwelling on what you missed out on, focus on 3 things you did have and for which you're grateful. This rewires your brain to appreciate what you already possess. Mindfulness or conscious awareness is the ultimate tool. It involves training your mind to anchor itself in the present, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's learning to be the master of your attention. When you feel that pang of FOMO, instead of reacting impulsively, just observe it. Acknowledge the feeling, name it, and then let it pass like a cloud in the sky without letting it drag you along. It's a practice, not perfection. Remember, no one's life is as perfect as it seems online. Behind every travel photo are hours of waiting in airports. Behind every party photo is a potential hangover. Reality is always more complex. The true luxury in the 21st century isn't having more options or being everywhere. The true luxury is the ability to disconnect, to be present, to deliberately choose where you place your attention. It's the luxury of depth. Deep down, FOMO stems from insecurity, from the idea that our worth depends on what we do or how busy we are. The cure is to understand that your worth is inherent. You don't need to do anything to be enough. Next time you feel tempted to compare your life, pause, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and focus on a single real thing around you. The weight of the blanket on you, the sound of rain, the smell of coffee. Anchoring yourself in the real is the antidote. Life isn't a competition. There's no final scoreboard or prize for attending the most events. The only life you can truly live is your own. And it's in that life, in its quiet, unpublished moments, where the true magic resides. Missing out on some things is inevitable. In fact, it's necessary. It means you're committed to something, that you're investing your time and energy in what truly matters to you, instead of spreading yourself thin across 1,000 directions. Choose your yeses carefully, and then embrace the nos that come with them. Find joy in your choice. That's the essence of JOMO. Freedom isn't about having it all, but about not needing it all to be happy. FOMO is a prison whose walls are built from the idealized lives of others, but the door has no lock. At any moment, you can decide to walk out and stroll through the landscape of your own unique reality. This silent epidemic is fought with deliberate acts of disconnection. Every moment you choose to be present is a small victory. It's an act of rebellion against a culture that wants you distracted and anxious. It's not about abandoning technology, it's about regaining control. About using it as a tool, not allowing it to use you. Awareness is the first and most crucial step in this liberation process. The fear of missing out on others' lives is, ironically, the surest way to miss out on your own. True abundance isn't found externally, but in the ability to fully inhabit the present moment. In a world that constantly screams for your attention, silence and concentration are superpowers. Cultivating them will make you stronger, calmer, and ultimately, much happier than any like ever could. Next time you feel FOMO, breathe. Remember it's an illusion, a trick of your ancestral mind in a new world. It's not you, it's your programming, and you have the power to rewrite that code. Seek connection, not just connectivity. Call a friend instead of just watching their stories. Organize a real-life meetup. Authentic interactions are the most potent antidote to the loneliness that fuels FOMO. Real life is messy, sometimes boring, and not always photogenic, and that's okay. Embracing the imperfection of your own life is an act of radical self-love in a world obsessed with perfection. In the end, the question isn't, what am I missing out on? The truly important question is, what am I enjoying right now? Changing the question changes the way you experience your life completely. So I invite you to try it. Choose a moment today to practice JOMO. Put your phone away, look around, and immerse yourself in the experience of being alive here and now without needing to prove anything to anyone. This is the turning point. The moment you realize that FOMO sells you an empty promise, the promise that happiness is somewhere else with someone else doing something else. It's an endless chase, a treadmill that exhausts you but takes you nowhere. The true revelation is to understand that the finish line isn't external, but within your own capacity to be present. Great philosophers, from the Stoics to the Buddhists, have talked about this for centuries, long before smartphones even existed. The source of suffering is the desire to be somewhere other than here. What has changed isn't the wisdom, but the magnitude of the challenge. Modern technology has created the most perfect distraction machine in history, designed to hijack our attention with relentless efficiency. Resisting this machine isn't easy. It requires intention, discipline, and courage. The courage to be alone with yourself, the courage to accept that your life as it is already complete and worthy of being lived. Don't let the fear of missing out on curated moments make you miss the real texture of your existence. The taste of morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of a loved one's laughter. These are the real things. FOMO robs you of the present to sell you an imaginary future that never arrives. JOMO gives you back the present as the only gift you truly possess. The choice between anxiety and peace is yours in every moment. The world will keep turning if you don't see that Instagram story. The event will still happen if you're not there. But your life, your present moment, only happens once. And it only happens with you as the protagonist. Don't be a spectator in others' lives. Be the main character in your own. Even if your story is quieter, more subtle, and less spectacular, it's the only one that matters because it's authentic. It's yours. Next time you open a social media app, do it with a clear intention, not as a reflex to escape boredom. Go in, find what you need, and get out. Don't get caught in the endless labyrinth. Remember that every post you see is just a single frame from a very long, complex movie. You're comparing your full movie, with its boring scenes and difficult moments, to everyone else's highlight reel trailer. This perspective frees you from the tyranny of comparison. It allows you to appreciate others' journeys without diminishing the value of your own. Empathy can replace envy when you understand this truth. The battle against FOMO is, in essence, a battle for your attention. Whoever controls your attention controls your life. Don't sell your most precious asset so cheaply. Protect it fiercely. Start small. A day without social media. A dinner with your phone on airplane mode. A walk in nature, leaving your device at home. Every small step strengthens your attention muscle and weakens FOMO's grip. You'll discover that the world won't end, that you're not missing anything truly important. And what you gain, mental clarity, inner peace, and real connection, is infinitely more valuable than what you feared losing. FOMO is an epidemic, yes, but it's not a life sentence. It's a condition of our era, and like all conditions, it can be managed and overcome with awareness, intention, and the brave decision to choose the real over the virtual. So next time that anxiety hits, smile, recognize it as a signal that it's time to disconnect from the outside and reconnect with yourself. It's a call to come home to your own present moment. You're not alone in this fight. Millions of people around the world feel exactly the same way you do. It's a byproduct of the architecture of our digital world, but together we can learn to navigate it better. In the end, the best story you'll tell won't be about the events you attended, but about how you learned to be at peace with yourself, no matter what the rest of the world was doing. That's the real goal. Not a life full of Instagrammable moments, but a life full of fully lived moments. A life of presence, meaning, and a peace that no notification can give or take away from you. In summary, FOMO traps you in a cycle of comparison and anxiety, making you feel your life is never enough. It's an illusion created by technology that exploits a very ancient human vulnerability. The solution isn't more activity, but more intentionality. Embracing the joy of missing out, JOMO, so you can truly win back your own life. It's a shift from valuing external noise to valuing internal calm. Your attention is your superpower in this modern world. Direct it wisely. Use it to build a life that feels good on the inside, not one that just looks good on the outside. That's the key to true freedom. We hope this reflection has given you tools to think and, above all, to act. Knowledge without action is just another piece of data. True transformation begins with a small change today. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the psychology of our time, for dedicating your valuable attention to exploring these ideas with us. It's been an honor to share this space with you. If this video resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss future analyses. And tell us in the comments, what's your personal strategy for combating FOMO? We read every one of your stories.